business is about taking risks, those should be calculated and thoughtful, and understanding, to your point, the specific calculation of that, based on your existing people and technology landscape is really key. I'd love to get your straightforward, basic, essential advice to CIOs and chief information security officers and CEOs, kind of given this situation. If you were to summarize the top three things that those C-level executives should be doing during this pandemic with respect to information security and compliance, what would the top three be?
It's a good one. I think one of my concerns going forward is fingers crossed we move out of the hardest part of this pandemic, is that some of the unusual operating conditions that we've adopted, such as more people working from home, such as people having access in ways they didn't have before, that they're accepted as the norm now. And I think all organizations globally have taken on more risk than they were comfortable to take on, but quite frankly didn't have any other choice. As we come out of this, we shouldn't allow that to be the justification for lowering the standard going forward. So I don't, in the finance sector, see a future where everybody works from home continuously, because there are scenarios where I would rather have people in buildings in the physical environments that we control. And I think where we've been is in an environment, or in a 5-month period, where regulators, they're sensible. I worked in regulation, and they take into account all the factors that applied. And as those factors, as the global pandemic no longer applies, you don't have a justification for operating at a higher level of risk just because it's convenient and people like a mobile lifestyle. So I would say to leaders, really consider how you provide facilities, how you enable mobility, and which of your important business services you maintain physical oversight of, rather than just allowing people to work from home, carte blanche. Somewhere else where we've learned a great deal, I think, during the pandemic is around the role of third parties and our reliance on third parties. So the reason that Monese has been able to grow so quickly, and the reason that all fintechs have been able to grow so quickly, is it's partly because of the cloud, but also because we partner. We partner like crazy to deliver services. We're not reinventing the wheel. What we're doing is putting together partners that together add value and allow us to provide services and solve our customers' problems. But that means that our supply chain resilience is very, very, very important to us. And it's easy to have a list of all your partners and then have a list of all their service level agreements and get a copy of their business continuity plans and go, oh, everything's okay. But actually, one thing that the pandemic has taught us is that worst case scenarios happen, right? So there's a great FCA Bank of England joint discussion paper in 2018 on operational resilience. And it was the start of a consultation period that comes to an end in October. And they talk about severe but plausible scenarios. I would hazard a guess that 6 months ago, even when asked to list severe but plausible scenarios, there weren't many people who said global pandemic affecting every single country in the world and closing the entire global economy. So these things do happen. Maybe a word of advice would be, supply chain resilience is important, but look into your supply chain and see what kind of resilient capacities there are. Because inevitably, when you're operating under resilience or business continuity conditions, sometimes your capacity or your ability to output reduces significantly. And if you're working close to that, you can find that, yeah, you still have the service provided by that partner, but it's a reduced service. And how does that affect your ability to operate as well? So supply chain resilience is absolutely critical, I think, for most organizations now, but certainly in the fintech sector.
And I hear you saying that you, of course, have to have those disaster recovery plans and resilience plans in place before the crisis. but also to
Mhm.
make sure that we've actually battle tested those plans. So you've gone through actual scenarios of,
Mhm.
enabling crisis management to make certain that you can work with partners, and that when employees are not coming into the office, they can safely access the systems that they need to access. That,
No,
I
I think
think, is a way that we could all grow and learn through this crisis. There's many ways, but I think from a technology perspective, we can enhance those muscles having gone through this.
yeah,
Look, that was great discussion. Thank you very much, Matt, for taking the time to speak with us and share your insights on information security best practices for the pandemic. And I appreciate your time.
thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.